triathlon. A sport currently driven by data, rules, competition, and established definitions of success. What if you could let all that go and strip it down to the purest idea? Swim, bike, run. Made up distances, made up routes, only limited by your imagination and the time you're willing to put in. Who would you go with? How far would you go? Is the journey enough? And can it silence the voice that asks, what if no one else even cares? It's time to stop wondering and go find out. My name's Eric Lagerstrom. I have been a professional triathlete for as long as I can remember. I've won a lot of races. I've gotten last at some races. I've been top 10 at 70.3 World Championships, and I was even first alternate for the Olympics in Rio. It's been a ride. I love racing, but high performance is a game of consistency, and the sense of adventure and curiosity that got me into the sport in the first place, I'd had to let it go more than I'd realized. Being back down in Southern California where I started my career, it hit me. I felt like I had to take the summer to let my imagination run wild and push myself beyond the mold I'd settled into. Off the edge of the map, lost in the moment. I had just enough time for one last run on the way out of town, and a local pro triathlete told me about this sweet trail on the outside of town in the mountains, runs underneath a pipeline along a ridge, and couldn't help but go meet him.
Go up here along the trail. It kind of goes up. There's like a little view.
I was feeling like a little bit of a chill run before getting on the road, but Nate clearly had something else in mind. Before this trip, I would have been pretty stressed about how that run fit into my training, how it impacted the next day. But it felt so good to just roll with it, and I had the feeling I was on the right track. Heather's one of my closest friends, but she also happens to be one of the most accomplished endurance athletes in the world. And she's the only one I know who would head into the desert with me with no plan at all. In her triathlon days, Heather was 6-time Ironman champion, 16-time half Ironman champion, multiple top fives, both Ironman World Championships and half Ironman World Championships. Heather doesn't swim anymore. She's busy racking up wins and podiums at some of the most prestigious gravel events and 100-mile trail runs in the world. She's gone her own way, and it's inspired me to go mine. We stumbled across this mining town in the mountains, and while picking up supplies, I tried to wrap my head around the conversation I wanted to have with Heather. Maybe she didn't have the answer, but I wasn't sure if I was even asking a question or just looking for some confirmation that I wasn't alone in this search. We didn't have any solid plan. We just wanted to get on the bikes and see where these dirt roads would take us. Pulled up the map, picked the most promising little squiggly line, and rolled out. That?
It's gotta be some kind of rocket or something. Wow. Oh, that's good.
Heather and I really became friends during COVID. Camping in the desert. Waking up each day wondering when we'd race again. And just making up things to do. It felt really cool to be back in that same place again. Making tacos, trading war stories, dreaming about what we'd get up to in the morning.
Miles and miles still following frame. 30-mile boots, I'll empty them after the rain. After the rain, they'll bury my bones and carve out my name. A penny in hand, still waiting till after the rain. After the rain, it could come any moment. It could wash all this away. My salvation lies after the rain.
Now for the fun part. We rode just to ride, where we wanted for as long as we wanted to. We stock up, check the map, and ride somewhere else. Sunrise to sunset. The strongest relationships I have were all built on the bike, and there's a level you can get to with someone that can only come through hours spent immersed in effort. you going into gravel and doing trail and leaving triathlon is like given me a lot of just like a little bit of a idea that it is possible with endurance, and it doesn't have to be a race. It doesn't have to be swim, bike, run. It can be whatever you want to be. It's just like that mountain. How do I get to the top of that? What's the best way? That fires me up, and that's okay. And you shouldn't feel like, oh, I didn't train properly because I was trying to get to the top of the mountain.
You should do whatever gets you up every single morning, fired to go after the day and fired to go after that thing that inspires you. Honestly, the last 2 years of my life have been the happiest that I can remember because I'm doing things that I actually love, every single day, I'm excited to go out and get on the trails, to go out on my gravel bike and explore. And yeah, it's different than the swim, bike, run, hit these intervals, but you have one life. You have to do what brings you joy and what helps you get the most out of every single day, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. As cliche as that is, I mean, you're never gonna forget the days you spent adventuring with friends or family, exploring new places, getting to the tops of mountains. It's one of those, when you look back, you don't wanna have wasted any days out there and not doing the things that you love to do.
I hadn't spent hardly any time with Luke since we were kids, camping with our families in the summertime. And I certainly had no idea he'd become such an endurance junkie. Like, you and I are the same height, same leg length. We both ended up liking the exact same running shoe. Everything.
It's weird, man.
Like, that doesn't feel like that could be a complete coincidence. Luke hit me up with this crazy idea. A long run from his cabin, hitting multiple 13,000-foot peaks called a cirque. Super varied terrain, and some of it not even on trail.
I think my story is a little non-traditional, doing an ultra marathon, especially a 100-mile ultra marathon or something as extreme as Leadville.
He just finished up something called the Leadman Challenge, a combination of all the events in the Leadville Trail Race series. Trail marathon, 50-mile mountain bike race, 100-mile mountain bike race, 10K run, and the Leadville 100-mile run. All within 2 months, and he got third overall.
There's just not that many things that you do that you really honestly don't know if you can do it. I've always been attracted to just pushing the envelope and seeing what is possible, because I think there's just always so much more that we're capable of than we're willing to try to find out.
I had a little bit of time to catch Luke up on what it's been like living life as a professional triathlete. I got as creative with it as I possibly could, and like riding a different road as much as I possibly could, but I had to just try to bury that desire to do more adventurous stuff down a little bit. And why this trip was part of a mission to get back to the core of why I started.
We've got tons of trailheads out the door from here, but it's actually a lot better accessing them with dirt bikes. We have 2 electric dirt bikes, pick our own destination. The Continental Divide Trail comes right through Jones Pass up here, actually along this mountain ridge. I mean, most of the running we'll be doing up there is gonna be above 12,000 feet, and you're gonna feel small. Like, yeah, you're not gonna see a soul. The walk is a nice warm-up though. I'm getting ready to run.
Yeah, I'm frothing for the run. riding up Jones Pass and into the high country. We could see the sections of the Continental Divide Trail, as well as all the peaks that we were going to hit as we completed this cirque. It felt like we were riding up through some giant mixing bowl, and the trail and peaks were up on the rim looking down at us. I've always been attracted to linking up trails and features in creative ways, and this route, only doable on foot, had me excited in a way that roads I've run hundreds of times never could. Luke was a badass runner, but the thing that surprised me the most was how our brains seemed to work in the exact same ways.
I am just a happier and more peaceful and fulfilled person when I'm pushing myself in the mountains and like putting time towards that.
That is why I went down the triathlon route. I've found a thing that is gonna keep me from the one thing I dread most, being in a cubicle, being on a hamster wheel. Like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to have a life that is outdoors and sustainable.
Big climb, get up to like 12.5, and then it's just big, open, flat, like tundra. It's just forever. It's really crazy. Obviously, I am into high performance, and I do think that when you can do something really well, like, you're gonna have more fun usually.
Everybody can push themselves a little bit.
It was funny, my training plan for Leadville, it was 3 words: run shit tons. is short.
Yeah.
Nothing is guaranteed. Things happen. And if there's something that brings you joy, something that brings you fulfillment, something that you really truly want to spend your life pouring into, don't wait.
I feel like I got to go try to leave my mark in a different way, if it's possible. Yeah, so I don't know, sitting here talking about how I felt as a kid, but it's not like it's changed. Get out there, get into the unknown, and find out what you learn. So it's going to be best case scenario, come back with a whole new outlook and see some crazy, crazy stuff. But the experience is in the hands of one of my all-time heroes.
I doubt he remembers, but I first met Simon in 2007. He was the first triathlete to win a gold medal in the Olympics. We became friends later, and when I told him that I wanted to go after a big open water swim objective in Tofino, BC, one of the most beautiful places I've ever been, he told me, I have somewhere even better. Nemo Bay is in one of the most remote corners of Canada. You're surrounded by ancient forests and what feels like untouched nature. Simon's friend Fraser inherited the place from his parents. Their idea was to live in a more sustainable way and have a simpler life. One building at a time, they built this floating village and started inviting guests. People who were also in search of something. The place had this indescribable magic energy about it. We heard over the radio that there was some weather moving in, but before our dinner with Fraser, I just had to get in the water. Simon told me 3 things about it. It was ice cold, crystal clear, and blacker than night.
first person who was just walking around here and stumbled upon this place and was like, what?
Yeah.
How long has this been here?
Learning the tides and the currents and the eddies, and knowing that if I can effortlessly drift from here to there. And listening about the ocean is, in the mountains, if you stop, you're stuck. But the ocean will take you somewhere else. I think the endurance swimmer is the greatest endurance athlete of all time. Because if you stop, you drown. If you stop on a trail, you walk. You stop, you sit. But in the ocean, if you stop, you drown. And we're from the ocean, so I love the poetry of the idea that the like most pure form of endurance is swimming.
Simon started telling me stories about how him and Fraser first met, all the trouble that they'd gotten into, places they swam, places they shouldn't have swam. It was just endless. His passion for this place was contagious, and as he told me about the swims that he had planned, I knew it was going to be hard to sleep that night. There were 2 swims. First one was more of a warm-up, a game, as Simon called it. Like everything on this trip, it was ways out there. Depending on the conditions, we could be on the boat for hours. But I didn't come all the way up here to swim off the dock.
Whoa there, you big old bull, I see you grit your teeth. Those horns are just for show, you don't scare much to me. It's only me and you, so careful how you step. I know your every move, I'm deep down in your breath. Can you see? Can you see the killer in me?
We arrived at a narrow passage into a tidal bay, powered by tides rushing in and out through a tiny opening. There's a very small window of time, literally minutes, where you can safely swim through in both directions without getting swept away or sucked under.
Can you see? Can you see? Can you see? Can you see the killer in me? The killer in me. The killer in me. The killer in
That was so nice. You like instead of going into it, you feel all of a sudden like start to just like fly and it sucks you in, and then you hit where it's like swirling as the bay water's hitting there, and then it's like such a wild feeling to feel that much water just swirling and moving. Kind of like the same thing coming back. Like it's fine, and then boom, you're on the treadmill. Like maximum effort, and then being able to actually come back through because it just calmed down a little bit, and then all of a sudden you just like start to hit the calmer water and just like okay, making forward progress again. So cool.
Simon was right. This place was unlike anything else I'd ever experienced. now, it's time to do what I came all the way here to do. A long point-to-point swim, starting in this bay, surrounded by cliffs, and finishing amongst these tiny islands floating in the channel. Simon told me if I can do the whole thing, he'll take me to his favorite place in the whole bay. A hidden, floating dock that him and Fraser built. This isn't racing, but there's no way I could be doing this right now if it wasn't for the years and years of training. Thousands of miles in the pool, bike rides in the pouring rain when I wanted to be inside, days away from family, sleepless nights. Swimming through these islands, it's hitting me. All of those things brought me here. I'm so grateful for all of them. I didn't know exactly what I was looking for, but I don't think there was really any one thing rather than a feeling. A feeling that I could only get by letting go of what I know and what is safe and heading out into the unknown. Arms, legs, heart and lungs, covering ground, ending up somewhere new. You may think it's crazy to search for answers in such faraway places, but you have to look for things where you can find them.